Black men, we failed as fathers. We failed as providers. We failed as protectors from our black women. And this is real talk. This is real talk, man. I mean, you know, collectively as a group, for the most part, black men have been absentee fathers since the 1960s. All right? We're not in our children's life, if at all. Okay? We make the babies, but we don't provide and protect the babies, especially our young women. All right? We're not there. We're failures at that. And so you see so many end results because of that. Abandonment, loneliness, right? Rebelliousness, which leads to a plethora of other things, including human trafficking. All right? And this goes along with the missing black girls in DC. We failed. And that's real talk. We failed. All right? And, you know, the thing about it is, family, and I'm a human. You know, I'm one that makes mistakes like everybody else. And I did a video about, a couple videos back, about the young black lady who was buying, or apparently, allegedly, shoplifting at a Korean beauty store in South Carolina, but I believe it was in the Carolina area, Charlotte, North Carolina, I believe. But anyhow, that video, you know, got some good numbers, got some good comments on it, and a lot of, you know, outraged comments towards me. And let me just tell you, you know, I'm one to apologize for that, because I basically said that that woman, I didn't feel sorry for her getting beat up by that Korean store owner. I apologize. I have empathy for that lady, and I apologize. You know, this goes back to black men needing to be providers and protectors of black women, and we're absentee. We're absentee. So I apologize for saying that comment. I retract that statement. All right. And, you know, for someone like myself who has been married for 12 years, you know, have 3 beautiful children, I am the provider and protector of my family, of my household, the head of my household. And so collectively as a group, black men, right, people like myself are few and far in between. So you have men, right, out here, like I said, procreating, making the babies, but they're not there in the children's life, if at all. Okay, and obviously that has to change, but it's been that way since the 1960s. It's a repeated cycle. It is a pattern and condition within our community, within our society, that has to change. All right. And the root cause, okay, the root cause of all of this, especially the end results, but the root cause of our black women going into these particular issues, such as human trafficking, is that we fail to protect our women. We're not there. We're just not there. It's that simple. All right. This is not conjecture. These are actual facts. We're not there. And I just want to apologize for making those comments in my other video about me saying, you know, I didn't have any remorse and I didn't care about that lady getting beat up by the Korean store owner. We need to be providers and protectors of our black women. All right. And instead of just trying to bash the black women, we need to uplift the black woman, embrace the black woman, and empower the black woman. It's that simple. It's that simple. All right. And, you know, The fact that the story out of DC with the missing black children, the black teenage girls specifically, you know, the local police department and local law enforcement there, they were using social media as a vehicle to make sure that this story gets legs. And of course, you have selective coverage of this story for certain media outlets, right? Now you got to a point where lawmakers within DC, okay, DC, of course, that's where the so-called president, right there, Donald Trump, he's right there in DC. All right, local politicians are asking the FBI, all right, they're asking federal government to get involved in the missing children's or the missing black girls case in DC, in Washington, DC. Straight up, that is fucking sad. That is fucking sad and ridiculous. The fact that you got Tom Brady, who had his Super Bowl jersey stolen and returned by the FBI. Just think about that. A goddamn Super Bowl jersey returned by the FBI, but yet we as black people have to beg the federal government, a suspected white supremacist, Jeff Sessions, to get involved. But yet a goddamn jersey is more important than a black woman. How about that? A football jersey is more important than a black woman. Huh? Where they do that at? I mean, it's quite obvious. It's a rhetorical question. This is a system of racism, white supremacy, okay? You got to know and understand it. This is what my channel is about. All right? So, this story, family, about the missing girls in Washington, D.C., you know, it's a lot of things that really need to be peeled back and analyzed, right? And I can't do that in this video, but this story is really, 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 really deep. It really is. There has to be a very thorough investigation from top to bottom. All right. You know, just everything regarding the whereabouts of the girl. All right. What they were doing before they were missing. Checking all of their information, their social media, their school records, everything from top to bottom. Okay. Peers, known folks that they got interacted with. Everything needs to be investigated and analyzed. This is a really deep story. You know, you can have your conspiracy theories about the girls got kidnapped and God forbid they're dead and then their organs are being used and sold on the black market. There's all kinds of theories and stories that are popping in my head regarding this. But regardless of that, first and foremost, I pray that these girls, these young black girls, are found safely, okay? But at the end of the day, black men who are protectors and providers of our black women are not there. We're just not there. And that has to obviously change. All right? So for me going forward, family, I'm just here to uplift and empower the black woman. I'm not going to do any more negative comments like that because that was ridiculous. You know, and nobody came in my ear or nothing like that. I just had to think about it. All right. Had to pray about it. And that kind of energy needs to be changed and needs to be, served for the better. And acknowledging our failures as black men, once we acknowledge that, we can start the next process of rebuilding to try to replenish what we lost in terms of protecting the black woman, providing for the black woman, and being for our children. Providers and protectors of our children and our young black girls. Bottom line. All right. So like I said, going forward, I'm not doing any more negative comments or anything like that regarding our black woman, because I'm married to one for 13 years. All right. Our wedding anniversary is this Monday, and I've been married for 13 years. All right. So, family, like I said, the story about the missing girls in DC is just a very deep story. It's multi-layered, and this is something that I can't simply cover. I don't think anybody can cover this particular story in just one sitting and talk about what's going on. It's really deep. It's really, really deep. Okay. It's just multi-layered, and there just really needs to be a thorough investigation. In terms of the selective media coverage, I mean, that's just not surprising at all. Of course, our black woman, the value of our black woman compared or in the eyes of the dominant society, it's pretty much pennies. All right. It's pennies, if not less, if not, there's no value. But the black woman should be, in the eyes of the black woman and the black man, is priceless. So we should be doing whatever we can to make sure we have not only social media as far as the hashtags and stuff like that regarding the missing black girls in DC, but doing what we can to make sure that these girls are found, whatever the case may be. That's what we have to do. And I'm not seeing that. We could talk about, people are, these feminist groups out here who, they go out and march for somebody else. But when it comes to our own black woman, our black girls, they're silent as a church mouse. Okay? And I'm not trying to bash anybody. I'm just calling it like I see it. I don't see none of these so-called black feminists out here marching and protesting and banging on, or knocking on, going into Washington, D.C. and establishing lawmakers and stuff like that to try to get, more resources involved with the missing girls in DC, the missing black girls in DC. I don't see that. I just don't. I don't see that. All right. That's just from my perspective. Okay. But like I said, family, this is a very, very, very multi-layered, complex story. This is something that really has to be investigated and analyzed. And, oh man, I just feel for these black girls. I really do. I feel for these black girls, and I feel that, as a black man, I can acknowledge that we failed as providers and protectors of our black women. I can acknowledge that. All right. Now, once you acknowledge that, black man, what are you going to do about it? All right. What are you going to do to replenish that relationship with the black woman and our children, our black girls? Okay. What are you going to do? All right. It's up to you. So, like I said, family, at the end of the day, there needs to be, obviously, way more resources involved, way more media coverage, All of these so-called celebrities and these athletes out here who protest for one thing, right? And I'm not calling no names, nothing like that, but I just call it like I see it. They protest for one thing, but they're signing on another thing. Everybody needs to be involved in getting the resources about this case in DC for the missing black girls to make sure this gets resolved as soon as possible. Bottom line. Bottom damn line. All right? So, those are my thoughts, family. I'm going to continue to do more analyzing and investigation regarding this story in particular. I'm going to do a lot more research in terms of human trafficking pertaining to black children. I'm going to do a lot more research on that and follow up with another video. Like I said, this is a very deep, multi-layered, complex story regarding these missing black girls in DC. So I need to do a lot more research myself in terms of patterns that are happening with this story like this. All right. I need to understand the history of how, this started, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll do my research on that. But at the end of the day, family, like I said before, black men have failed as providers and protectors of our black women and our black children. Period. We failed. We failed. All right. So, family, those are my thoughts on that. Make sure you leave your likes, comments, and subscribe, all right, in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this story. And if you have more insight, I'd love to read your comments. Let me know some insight about this story if you live in the DC area. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. All right, family. So until next time, Chauncey, a.k.a. the Black Separatist, signing out. Peace.